Take your marks.
Listen to the crowd.
This is a remarkable performance.
A world record, Denry. Have you ever seen anything like it?
He can't believe it, but it just happened.
Good morning and welcome back to another episode of About Last Night. My name is Bailey Jackson and I'm joined here with my wonderful co-host John Mason and our two lovely guests Pernille and James. We witnessed one of the most anticipated moments of the Olympics, the opening ceremony last night. And what made this so notable is it was the first time it was out of the arena. We saw it on the Seine. It was a wonderful event. We had a lot of representation from the aquatic community. Notably, we had diver Tom Daley. James, I know we were looking forward to seeing some swimmers as well. Who were you most excited to see as flag bearers?
We've got couple of star names in there. We've obviously got the home nation hero, Florent Manodou. You know, what an honour in France, home Olympics, walk out carrying your nation's flag. We also have Siobhan Jorge from Hong Kong, China, who, you know, she's one of our world champions. But it's not just the star names. You know, we've got 34 swimmers out there carrying flags, one artistic swimmer, two divers, and a water polo player. So it's the whole community.
Absolutely. You know, I was very excited to see Dylan Takata out there for Trinidad and Tobago. We had Jordan Crooks for the Cayman Islands. These are two boys that have done like massive things in the aquatic community and in the swimming world, and coming from such small nations, like to give them that opportunity and to have them shine was really, really special for me. I actually got chills just thinking about it. You were there. What were you thinking, Pernille?
I think it was a spectacular event, and I actually never attended the opening ceremony until now, so that was my first one, and it's just incredible to seeing it live and just see all the good energy and everything that just people just ready to celebrate and ready for this like festival of sports.
Yes, we are. We're ready to go. And like we say, we're moving into day one. But before we get there, you guys both have experience, right, as athletes. You've been in, the Olympic Village. They've been there for a while now. So what's that experience like as a whole?
There's a lot of things going on in the Olympic Village. It's really busy, or at least that's how you feel on like the first days. You feel like there's just tons of things going on. And then after like 5 days or so, you kind of get used to all the like hassle there is, but it's really quite an experience. Everything from like the food hall to even getting your apartment, finding out who are you with in your apartment, and yeah, obviously the cardboard beds, which I know everyone talks about as a hot topic of the Olympics. It was in Tokyo as well.
Were they comfy?
Well, so the Danish team, we got top mattresses to put on top, but I got no complaints. And I think it's such a positive thing also that they really think about like environment and so on. So I would say like it's a give and take at some points, but in general, just looking at it and everything being put together for like a month of sports is just, I mean, it's a lot of work.
I know it's definitely sustainable. You talk about environmentally friendly beds. I know there are some teams that do get kind of this special treatment. For example, Team USA, their basketball team is in a hotel in the city center. How do you feel about some teams kind of getting this preferential treatment over others? Because we do see top athletes, for example, tennis, you have Nadal, Alcaraz, they're in the Olympic Village, but you have LeBron and team, like I said, Team USA, in a comfy bed, posted, far away from everybody else. Like, what's your thought on that?
Personally, I wouldn't want to be outside the village if I'm an athlete. Like, you can always do fancy hotels and be in like a comfy bed, but you can't always do an Olympic Village experience. So personally, I would be super unhappy to actually be located outside the Olympic Village because it's such a vibe and it's an experience and it's unique. And you just don't get that if you don't stay there. So I think you can always do hotels and all of that, but different times.
Right. And then it's that social aspect too. You get to interact with the different teams in different countries.
Exactly.
Talk us through that, what is that social aspect like?
So I personally, I think like when you're in swimming, you interact with countries that are close to you and so on. But at the Olympics, you interact with your country, with all the teams that are like basketball, or maybe not if they're outside, or in my case, like handball and rowing, gymnastics, all these other sports, which is just really nice because you kind of feel like you're in the same boat, even though they're doing different things, and that is really cool. So it brings like another level of team spirit for your country.
We love that, the whole experience, the Olympic experience.
Well, in that, what she means as well, I'll give you a real world example. In the dining hall, there's thousands of seats.
Yeah.
And your country will choose the red seats for Denmark, or Britain will be on the white, whatever. And that's where your country eats. So you may go in on your own, but you're going to find a little bit of sanctuary with your tray. You're going to be around people that speak the same language, and you do develop a little bit more cohesion
That's
with
so
other
nice.
sports. And it's the dining hall, brings everyone together.
Team building, and like we said, a part of that Olympic experience. They've been having it for a while now, but of course, we're into racing. So we're going to take a look now at the schedule and what you guys have to look forward to coming up today, because it kicks off the greatest show on earth. So we are, of course, starting with the women's 100-meter butterfly semi-finals tonight. We then move into the men's 400-meter freestyle final, the women's 400-meter freestyle final. We have the men's 100-meter breaststroke semi-finals, and we finish with those relays, the women's 4x100-meter freestyle relay and the men's 4x100-meter freestyle relay. It is going to be a packed night of action. I think some of the biggest races of the whole meet are going to be happening on day one. So we're going to start with the men's 400. James, talk us through who your picks are. Should we be keeping our eye out for?
Well, this is going to be a new champion.
Yes.
Reigning champion. He's not here.
No, Ahmed Hafnoui. He's out with injury.
He's out with injury, so what an opportunity, for one of these young guys to come up and swimmer ranked number 1 in the world, Lucas Martins from Germany. Olympic trials come very close to that world record, and I think he's going in as the favourite. But the last Olympics, lane 8 won. So this is one of these races that's wide open.
Well, I think it's like, they say it's the Olympics, anything can happen like we saw there. But Lucas Martins, that world record has stood for so long. And I think it's one of those world records from back in the days of the suits. And I always think it's so impressive when one of them goes. We had it go last year with a 200. This one has been standing since then. And I think he's got his eye on it. I would love to see it go. But I think, Sam Short from Australia, don't discount him. He gave us one of the best 800s I've ever seen in my entire life last year. Elijah Winnington as well. Who are you favourite in, Pernille?
I am going to go with Lucas.
Yeah. Okay, you think he's got it?
I think he's got it.
Yeah.
And I think it would also be like full circle because it's Paul Biedermann. He's German. Mm-hmm. He's the one who has the world record. And Lucas is German.
A great way to pass the torch.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly that. So that's the men. We then move into the women's 400-meter freestyle. This one is going to be epic. We've mentioned it a couple of times, but we're going to dive into it a bit more now. So James, take it away.
Well, this is one of the race of the championships.
Yeah.
We did mention it last night because this is one we're all looking forward to. Ariarne Titmus, Katie Ledecky, Summer McIntosh, also Li Binji from China. And this is one of these races, Katie's been a little bit behind Ariarne on times, but she's a racer. Mm-hmm. And that means nothing at all. Times don't mean anything. When you come into the Olympics, times are irrelevant. It's about racing. And one thing that Katie is awesome at is racing. Summer McIntosh is there. And I think we could outsee her one of the most outstanding races of any Olympics, and that's on day one.
Yeah, and people are saying that, one of the women's races of the century. And day one, starting with a bang. So speaking of Ariarne Titmus, the one to watch, I was lucky enough to catch up with her a couple of weeks ago to see what she had to say as we headed towards the Olympics. So let's take a look.
My name's Ariarne Titmus and I'm representing Australia at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. I remember when I first qualified for the team, I remember I was getting interviewed post-race and I actually cried. It was so emotional. I feel such a sense of pride to be a part of this team. I think that this team can really do something special and it's such an honor to be in this era of swimming in our country. I look back, 20 years ago and I think there was this golden time for swimming in Australia, and I think it's really come to that again. That's just really cool to be a part of. In that environment with a packed house and a big crowd, I'm so excited. I just think it's probably going to be the biggest crowd I've swum in front of. So hopefully I can use the energy as much as I can and lift. But I think really just when you walk out on pool deck, trying to absorb that as much as you can and soak it all in is something that I'm going to try and do because it's really a once in a lifetime experience. I think being a spectator in a swimming stadium that huge, I think it's going to be unreal as well. So I'm actually jealous of you, getting to watch a few of the races. it'd be great to be a swimming fan these days because there's going to be some epic battles and yeah, it's exciting to see what happens.
Well, there you have it. We're going to have to see what happens tonight, but Ariarne obviously feeling good as we head into tonight's finals. So we're finishing off with the relays. These are always my favorite. It's always so fun to watch, and what a great way to finish night one. Let's start with the women, the 4x100 meter freestyle relay. Pernille, it's over to you.
I think it's going to be Team Australia for sure.
I'm not mad about it.
No, I think they're just a really, really strong team, and I'm not sure anyone can get anywhere near them.
Yeah.
They have such a team full of depth as well. So I just think it's going to be Team Australia in front.
I mean, I love to hear you say that, but of course, like we say, it is the Olympics. Anything can happen. And for the men, what do you think, James?
Oh, the men, look, I've got to go Great Britain. They were the favourites last year. They got disqualified, well, as favourites of the World Championships, they got disqualified in the morning, and they had to go through sort of a triage of qualifying in Doha. So I'd like to see Great Britain. That's my heart. My head is saying Team USA. Okay. Caleb Dressel coming back in shape. Such strong trials 4 weeks ago. So I think America are the favourites. But you're right, these events are incredible. And they do surprises. I remember Sydney 2000. Australia versus USA, and they got on the blocks with smashing the guitars and things. And this is one of the races, my favourite races. And again, I'm heart is Britain.
Yeah.
Head is saying Team USA.
Okay, well, we're going to have to wait and see, of course. But it's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing show, whichever way it goes. So there you have it, our final preview show of About Last Night. Thank you so much for joining us. The racing has started this morning, and it's going to continue this evening. We're going to be crowning 4 new